Good evening. I'm Briggs LaSavage.
And I'm Dan Wolf. Thanks for joining us. Superior Police are investigating a series of fires in an apartment building they believe were set intentionally.
Northern News Now's Rob Coles joins us live outside Royalton Manor Apartments in the Billings Park neighborhood. Rob, what are you learning?
Well, Dan and Briggs, Superior Fire and Police have increased patrols around Royalton Manor after responding to 4 fires since December 28th. The fires were small and no one was hurt, and there wasn't any significant damage. But Superior's fire chief says his department believes each of the fires was started intentionally. Authorities did not immediately share any information on what led up to the fires or if they have any suspects. We're also working to learn if the fires were inside or outside the building. Superior City Councilor Mark Johnson represents the Billings Park area. He says this is a big safety concern since Royalton Manor is 4 stories and many people who live here are older.
My concern is that there's probably some folks in that building that have maybe mobility issues or are vulnerable in other ways that have barriers to them getting out of the building safe. And so anytime, obviously, that there's an arson, that's really concerning.
Fire leaders say they and police are actively investigating, along with increased law enforcement presence in the area. Fire inspectors recently visited the building to ensure all fire protection and alarm systems are operational. And if you happen to know anything, you can contact Superior Fire or Police. You can also call 911 if you ever see someone starting a fire. Dana Briggs?
All right, Rob, are we hearing anything from the owners of the building?
Well, according to online listing, it appears to be operated by the Bashan Group. They have several different housing complexes throughout Superior, some of which are subsidized. We reached out to them today, and they said that they're cooperating with authorities.
Okay, some good information there. Rob Coles live for us in Superior tonight. Thank you, Rob.
Superior's mayor recently posted on Facebook regarding Royalton Manor and plans for the apartment moving forward. Well, we don't know exactly what spurred his post. On Monday, Mayor Jim Payne wrote, many people had reached out to him about Royalton Manor last weekend. Payne said if the city council approves a public loan next month, Royalton Manor will change ownership, get new management, convert to senior housing, and undergo a total renovation. He added the city would support the new owners as they work to increase safety, comfort, and affordability. Mayor Payne was not available for an interview this week.